Let me into my zone. Let me into my zone. Please don't let me into my zone. 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 Please don't.
Well. Welcome back to Krown's Crypto Cave. Wishing you a very pleasant end to your week. It's a nice little Friday over here from a very dark and dreary Helsinki, Finland. As always, I do want to remind myself to talk about a few things before we get into the actual analysis right now. God damn, man, there's so many things to talk about actually. First and foremost, we've been doing live streams on Twitch and Mixer as of this last week of action. It's been really fun. In fact, just because the sole focus isn't fully on analyzing shitcoins and Bitcoin, these streams have actually ended up being extremely long, 2 to 3 hours, and a little bit more of a chill environment. So definitely check that out if you're interested in that and you're kind of missing the live streams from YouTube. But it's been found, especially looking at all of the analytics and whatnot, that doing the uploaded videos to YouTube like this in the kind of shorter format is a lot better. Not just better for myself, but also better for you. It's been a lot more asked for, I suppose, is the better way of putting it. And then on top of that, the link will be in the description of this video, of course. And I go live on that pretty much every day. I've been doing it every day, twice a day actually recently. It's been pretty fun, man. So really want to say massive thank you to everyone coming out there, because it's been a really cool and a little endeavor right now. On top of that, I do want to talk about all of the programs which are going to be on sale for the Christmas-y, holiday-y-ish region, also the end of the year. Happy holidays to everyone out there. And of course, if you are interested in investing in the programs, just wait a few days and it'll be 20% off. Save some of your money. I don't want anyone to be surprised by that. What else do we have? I think that's pretty much it, actually. I did do a little bit of an interview yesterday, but unfortunately the audio quality was so bad that they won't be able to post it. Sorry, I'm talking about the crypto duel people at Cointelegraph. So unfortunate that one won't be posted. Just got the message today. And what else? I think that's about it. Oh, I actually won't be doing a live stream on Twitch this morning, in Mixer this morning. I'll probably do one later in the evening, but I have to take care of some errands, go submit my residence permit, and take care of a few other things. So that will be that. And I think with all that said, it's time for me to wish you the best of the best. Also the haps as well. It's Friday. You made it all the way to Friday. Doesn't fucking matter though. It's cryptocurrency, man. It doesn't sleep. And Bitcoin's actually moving, and we got a few things to talk about. I want to follow up from yesterday's video as well. So with that said, let's get into the live scene, my friends. Initiated into the teleportation scene. There we go. Bitcoin on the daily, still failing to get anything resembling continuation. In fact, we've been rejected from the 21x benchmark average, and of course, as long as we are living below there, I am still overall bearish, even with all of this massive $1,000 girthy green dildo straight up in my face. How can you say it? How can you say that, Krown? Well, the trend has not changed, and the trend is your friend until the end of the trend. And in this case, the trend is still very much down, and we are in a downtrend, especially as long as we're closing daily dildos below the yellow 21x benchmark average right here. But I'd even say that on a daily, we are still downtrending as long as we're below this this little last prior high right here at about 75.50. So I never want that to be a surprise. I am happy to change my opinion on Bitcoin. I'm happy to turn around and flip around into a bull if that does happen. But I never want these inflection points to be a surprise. I always feel like, and what's up, Queen Bee? Good to meet you, Queen Bee. I never want those areas to be a surprise for people, because, I am going to change my mind if new price action happens. But even with this $1,000 pump that we had a couple days ago, nothing's really changed here. And in fact, the lack of continuation, within the last 24 hours, I think is a pretty damn good sign that we probably are going to be heading back down. In fact, I do still stick with my 69.50 tick, which realistically, while we probably do have a small bounce there, coming back down to that area does not imply health. And today's going to be very important, because we're not only closing the daily, but we're closing the 2-day and the 3-day, both of which are going to really dictate this next major swath of price action. So let's actually go there right now and cover the most important things first. The most important, the firstest. And I want to put once again the highlight on the 3-day 200 moving average, which is going to be closing tonight, like I just said, as well as the 2-day, and not only just the 2 days, or sorry, not only those time frames closing, but also the weekly for CMEs and GBTC going to be closing today as well, as they don't trade over the weekend. And the way that I'm looking at this right now is that if we do close this next 3-day dildo above the 200 simple on the 3-day on spot price action, which would be about 69.49 spot one, or just 69.50, then I would be looking for that continuation up probably not just towards 75.50, but over time probably towards like 7,800, 7,900, and potential to get into the mid to low 8,000s. It would set us up for a decent rally here, I do believe. You know, probably fill out this space right in over here. However, what I think is a little bit more likely to happen here, and again, my opinion is irrelevant. I will go off, you know, wherever we close this baby, but if we do close below, at or below the 200 simple, which is 69.50, we will have our first open and close below that major moving average for the first time in about half a year, I believe. The last time that we had was back on over here in this saga in May. Yeah, so quite some time, actually, a little bit more than half a year. And so you can see that historically speaking, anytime that we have, you know, lived, or sorry, let me actually bring up a more historical chart perhaps. Let me actually, this feels like it's a little clunky right now. Let's see. What the fuck is going on with my CPU, man? My CPU is running at like, what the fuck's going on here? It's running at like 90%. Something's getting crushed in the background. Anyways, fair enough. Looking at this right here, you know, it does look to me like the 200 simple is a little bit of a clunky, but very, very good decider of kind of where we are on the phases of Bitcoin. Whenever we're above it, generally good. Whenever we're below it, generally bad. You see this over here from 2013 to or basically from the Genesis to 2014. Good. Get below it, bad. Over here, good, good, and potentially bad incoming. And not only that, we can take a step further, of course. We can look at both the slope and also opens and closes. So to get a little bit more surgical on this, whenever we see one open and close, the first open and close above or below this major moving average, that is typically when the market does turn. Like right on over here, we play out this bull trap, come down, break it, retest it a few times. It's retested many times here, but ultimately we do get shoved down like another 50% from this, you know, from this signal point to this next major low right here. And same thing to the upside right here. Not in percentage plays, of course, but we get our first open and close right here. You know, there's a one-off right here. It's not an open and close, though. We get our first open and close over here, come back down, retest it a few times, and then boom, off to the fucking races. And then same thing in 2018, of course. More recently, we do see we don't get an open and close below it until right here. Retest it 1, 2, 3 times, boom, massive move down, 50% from 6,000 to 3,000. And then same thing to the upside right here. We get our first open and close right here, retest once, retest twice, 3, 4 times, boom, off to the races, 2x to the upside. And once again, we are fucking around with it to the downside. Not only that, but we do have a negative slope on the white 200 simple, which both are, you know, certainly more on the bearish side. So I do lean to the bearish side here. Of course, the trend is your friend, and the trend is very much down. So I do believe that we likely do break down from this region. And, you know, longer term, I don't think it's going to be a straight line to the downside. I do think that we have plenty of, you know, plenty of opportunities for bounce, you know, down around low 6,000s, mid 5,000s is kind of major areas that I'm looking for, perhaps even reversal down there as well. But for the current price action, it's all going to come down to me on this next 3-day deal to close. So that's going to be happening tonight, later tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern time for spot price action. Obviously, CMEs are going to close at around, I believe, 5 p.m. Chicago time, and GBTC will close at regular market hours. So we're gonna get the clarity on the situation literally in less than a day now. So that is very, 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 very important, and that's going to drive the next major, you know, feeling of price action here. So let's go down to the lower time frames now that we've kind of gotten the most important things out. And looking at 4-hour right here, I mean, obviously we're just getting rejected by the 4-hour 200 simple. More importantly, we are playing out hidden bearish divergence here, which I still think has some more room to go. I stick with what I said yesterday. That is still my main ideas here. We are printing a higher high on the RSI than what we did in early December, right on over here when Bitcoin was several $100 higher. In fact, it was right on over here, it looks like. Yeah, on this tick to about 7650, 7700-ish region. Bitcoin putting in a massively lower high right here, getting as high as about 7450. And then turning back down, getting rejected by just, you know, the 200 simple. If we put on all major moving averages, it gets a little bit more obvious, but we'll go through that in just a bit here. Anyways, my point is that hidden bearish divergence probably does bring us back down to the median of the range, which would be around 6,900 to 6,950-ish region, which of course is going to have carry on over into the 3-day. So if the 3-day, if we do get brought down there by the lower time frame hidden bearish divergence, then that has implications with the 3-day closure. So I would look for that move to potentially happen around the end of the day if it is going to happen. It's not guaranteed to happen. This is not a crystal ball type shit. But if we do see that play out, there are several things agreeing with each other right now. Again, I'm not front running a decision like this. I'm not interested in doing that. A lot of people always ask me, Krown, long or short? A lot of the time I'm just waiting. I'm waiting right now. I've been playing ranges here and there, but I'm mostly waiting. And let's see, what's the highest time frame that we have this hidden bearish divergence present on? Because I got a bunch of messages saying, Krown, don't you know that tick was way far away? It's not relevant. Well, look at on a 10 hour. Do we still have that same hidden bearish divergence? Yes, indeed we do. Yes, indeed we do. In fact, even a little bit more pronounced going all the way back to the 29th of November. It's actually worse with the higher time frame that you go. That's how you know when it's still relevant in the past. So yes, was it right of me to use a 4 hour? I mean, it works out in this case, but you're going to see it on the higher time frames anyways, which matters more. So for homeless crypto trader messaging me about this, there's your fucking answer. And that last high was all the way up here, about 7,900, right? And of course, that one's pretty far away, but we could certainly look at this one, which is relevant right on over here. And that, again, was about 7,550, 7,600-ish region. So I'm sure that we have the same thing on a 12-hour, I'd imagine. Yes, indeed, we do. Bringing it back up on over here. Yep, just a smidgen higher. And I'm curious, what about a daily? Did we actually? Yes. Oh, wow, we do. We certainly do. Let me just confirm this. Yeah, massively hidden bearish divergence between this point, and this point. And I think a better, I'm gonna rewrite the fucking books right now. I think a better way of describing hidden divergences of any sorts, whether it's bullish or bearish, a better word for it is just continuation divergence. You're continuing the trend, and it's getting all of your local highs in. So we have not confirmed a local high here on the daily, of course, so it's not present there just yet. It's a potential, but it's not present just yet. I don't believe the 12-hour has confirmed a local high either. Yeah, we haven't really confirmed this as a local high. You could still make the argument that this is a consolidation, and we could take off to the upside. The 10-hour, I believe, yes, the 10-hour has confirmed a local high. However, I would like to see us take out 70,000 even to really confirm that. And then, of course, every time frame below that has already done that. So yes, it is present, but the higher time frames not necessarily there yet. It's just a possibility. And of course, the actionable areas for that would be below those critical levels that we just spoke about, which has, an avalanche of effects leading down into the daily close, which is going to be the 2-day close, 3-day close, CMEs for weekly close, and GBTC weekly close as well. All those massively fucking important. But let's go back down to lower time frames right here and flesh out this idea. Lower time frame oscillators starting to get very, very tired and turned down now, aren't they? Looking at 4-hour Stokes. Back down, and look at this. They're meeting the same trend line, the same fucking trend line that's held us all the way back since 29th of November. The highs of all of this, of all these failed rally attempts off the lows. Working pretty damn well here. What about the 3-hour? What's the 3-hour doing? Is it down? It is down as well. A little bit of a fake out, but hey, down, and kicked out of the bullish control zone as well. What about the 2-hour? The 2-hour is down. What about the hourly? Down, fuck. So again, usually when all those things align with each other, we actually do see price action move in that direction. Not always. It's not a fucking done deal, of course, as with anything. But I would put the probabilities on this going to the downside. Let's actually go into the ranges right here. Look at this. Where's the end of the first standard deviation coming in around? 6,900. That's actually below our neck. That's obviously below our our inflection point. Where's the top side of the first standard deviation coming in around? 7,300. That's less than our last high. So it's 68% likely that we don't make a new high today, and that we actually and it's within that probability area that we actually do take out one of the critical levels to the downside. So again, combining volatility, we'll expect to move with regards to volatility with straight up technical analysis. I mean, they're all technical analysis, to be fair. I mean, Jesus Christ, like how fucking dumb can you sound, Krown? But and it rhymes too, so it's true. But this is typically where the good plays arise from in my experience. So yes, probabilities aligning with that as well. You could get that from just looking at straight up price action, but hey, it's good to further confirm that. So let's now go into kind of the medium to higher time frames. We can see the 10-hour right here, looking like it's a little bit droopy droop. We do see 10-hour Stokes. What are they doing? This trend line not relevant to the 10. They are going to be testing the edge of the bullish control zone right here. So if we are going to see it turn back down, likely does happen from this region. Not only that, again, the RSI does look like it wants to come back down and test around the exponential on this. And that would likely produce the move needed to confirm hidden bearish divergence here. We also see historical volatility percentile expanding still. So we are still maintaining the downtrend. We have not flipped around the trend on any time frame that matters. Anything above a 4-hour is still very much down. As long as we're below those critical points, doesn't mean that it can't switch around, but until it switches around, trend is your friend, as it has been all the way down since 10,300, where we got bearish. So looking at this right here, we are still expanding even on, this is like a decent time frame for historical volatility percentile. We're still expanding here. So what does that tell you? It tells us that the trend is still going. And in this case, the trend is down. Momentum also is down on the lower time frames, and I'd imagine that the lower time frames historical volatility percentile is probably doing something similar. So let's see how aggressive we are within this region right now. Looking at the 4 hour, are we redlining this bitch? No, we're not. And in fact, looking at this right here, right? Even on a 4 hour, anytime we've gotten down to like a 0 read, it has produced major, massive moves. Last time that we have an example of this was middle of November. That was precipitating about a $2,000 move. Time before that we had a signature like this was middle of September, precipitating the fall from 10.3 to like upper sevens. So a $3,000 move right there. In early September, we precipitated about a $2,000 move from 9,000 to 11,000. Before that, we had this move to the downside of about 1,500 from 10.5 to 9. Time before that was this move right here from 10,000 to 12,000, another $2,000 move. Time before that was going all the way back to the switch up from bear to bull in what's it called in March of this current year, back on over here. So you can call that a pretty damn big move. And the time before that was basically November of the last year, the prior year, from going from 6,000 to 3,000. So it's typically, a 4 hour read like that is actually good enough to get these pretty damn big moves. And I would say that sounds like saying moves. Moves, that's what I'm trying to say. From my current signaling area right here, you could say that could be dragged from my current high of about 7,800, at most, but a median would be about 7,500. We've traded about $1,000 down from that region. Is that within the realm of reasonableness? Yes, it is. So could we say that move is perhaps played out? Yes, we could. So it's not as bad as it seems, but when I do see that the higher time frames, like a 12 hour, is still expanding from kind of a low area, and when we see that even the 4 hour had plenty of room to expand as well, it was just getting yellow right there. That's not that crazy. It can certainly get red and stay red for some time, but the 12 hour right here is still expanding. What about daily? I'm going to imagine that it's probably still expanding as well. Although it is kind of holding term trend here, so I'm not as confident on that one, but I don't think that it actually works as good on that time frame anyways. So the lower time frames, funnily enough, get it better in this case. Let's see what else. We did have bullish divergence on the daily right here. A lot of people are saying we have bullish divergence, we're going back to the fucking moon. No, I do think that if we even take out this high right here on the 17th of December, 74.50, we will move back up and test at the very least 7750, 7800-ish region, the top side of this range. And that would really start to look good for a prolonged move actually into the mid to low 8,000s. But keep in mind, man, the higher time frames, they aren't changing around anytime soon, right? Looking at the weekly right here, what's a weekly look like? It looks fucking weak is what it looks like. But, as long as we're closing weeklies below 75.50, there is zero reason at all whatsoever, in my opinion, to turn around to potentially bullish. In fact, I'd just be bull curious if we got back above there. I would need to see like a sustained move. But that would likely be good enough to get us started, which, can get us finished as well. Could be the initial etchings of a change. But remember, we're going to see CMEs close the weekly today, so we likely get to see where spot prices going to close around on Sunday when it has its weekly close. So if it closes anywhere below 72.50, still very bearish. If we close below 6,900, extremely bearish, and likely trend continuing like into next week. So yeah, by the same token, all major moving averages on pretty much all time frames are bearish here. We see yellow 21 we see the 10 symbol crossing the downside of the yellow 21 right here, which has precipitated all of our pretty prolonged downside moves. Last example that we have back on over here, 19th of March. Example we had before that was bull trap in 2014. Even the slopes of those actually get those a little bit better, I'm telling you beforehand, which has precipitated every 7% move plus to the downside. And if we go over here to the daily, I do want to, once again, put the spotlight on all major moving averages, which are in a bearish splayed effect, which are actually getting more aggressive downward slopes now, as Bitcoin has technically regained the 10 simple, but looking a little bit weak here. Again, until Bitcoin, it needs to take out at least a 17th of December high for me to think that we have a chance to potentially reverse here. Until that happens, no, absolutely not. We do have the 55 crossing below these 377. We have, like I said, all lower periods trading below higher periods, and they're getting more divergences away from each other, while all major moving averages have negative slopes. Last time that we had an example like this was back on over here. Oh man, this is painful to look at with how slow this is being right now. was back on over here in what was this, May of 2018, when Bitcoin got rejected from getting above 10,000. Remember, everyone was getting super bullish around that time. And what happened? Well, we got the death cross right here, similar to this area right here. We get the death cross as well. We get all lower periods moving below higher periods. At this point right here, same thing happens right here. White 200 simple starts to curl down afterwards. We're doing the same thing right on over here. And, you know, Bitcoin basically held below the 21 the whole way through until your next dump. And we actually end up rallying back all the way up. But as long as we are below the 200 simple on a daily, no real reason, in my opinion, to be like macro bullish, if you want to call it that. I do think that you're gonna have warning signs, and I do think that you're gonna have ebbs and flows in this market, and I do think that it's very possible that we actually do even move back up into the mid to low 8,000s from this region. But critical, key, important point. I wouldn't be willing to call a full-on reversal in the market until we see first the weekly, then and then what's it called, the monthly after that, above those critical levels that we spoke about earlier. So that's what matters most right now to me. Until we see that happen, I'm happy to stay overall bearish, as the higher timeframes are actually looking worse and worse. In fact, with the monthly closing relatively soon, let me just make sure that I'm recording. Okay, I'm recording. That's great. God damn, that'd be awful. We do have the monthly closing relatively soon, right? We got 10, 11 days in the month of December. And how's it looking like right now? Well, from a moving average standpoint, at the current moment in time, it actually would look like we potentially do have another rally to open up 2020 if we close like this. However, we are about $40 away from me not thinking that, and a lot can happen between now and the end of the month, of course. So if we do close below the 21 exponential moving average, which is 70-90-ish region right now on Stamp, if we do close below that, I do think that the opening of 2020 is going to be pretty abysmal for Bitcoin bullahs, which I fucking love that as a term. We probably do work our way down to the mid to low 5,000s. We'll kind of talk about long-term targets a little bit later, or maybe not even in this video. That's in the long-term analysis video, which I'll do this weekend as well. But if you want the long-term analysis, definitely go check out the playlist titled Long-Term Analysis, as I upload videos in there every week, so it's still relevant. Nothing's really changed here. But the problem with this is that momentum oscillators are all bearish. Looking at monthly Stokes, come on, getting rejected from the bullish control zone and down, nasty. Looking at monthly RSI is actually much worse to me. Monthly Stokes, you can make an argument for. For more upside. Monthly RSI, I do think, is a pretty damn bearish signature. We got rejected from the bullish control zone, also lost the exponential. Very likely we do come back down and test around the bearish control zone. And usually when I see a signature like this, you'll actually get lost in the bearish control zone after that. So not just come back down and test, but actually, stay in. So momentum oscillators are bearish on the higher time frames here. And not only that, we do see weekly. I think weekly still kind of looking nasty here. Weekly still technically down still, although they typically don't stay down there for that long. Weekly Jewel signals told you to sell at the beginning of July, told you to hold your short or add to your short in early November. And do we have more downside here? Yeah, historically speaking, we have certainly gotten lower than where we are right now. So I do think that it is indicative that we probably don't have like too much more juice on this next move until a sizable bounce. But man, for me right now, I'm very happy to wait for the 3-day, because that's going to really help, I think, for the greater term analysis. So what else do we want to talk about? Let's go check out CMEs right now. CME's have been getting things pretty damn well. Let me maybe turn off this bottom right here. Maybe that's what's killing everything right now. Looking at CMEs, CME death cross right here, below all major moving averages, and all major moving averages sloping down except for the 200 simple. Now we do see daily Stokes still down but weak. So what do you make of that? What about daily RSI? Still bearish a little bit. Daily Jewel, though, is kind of posturing for a potential buy. So the thing is we are going to have a pretty sizable bounce relatively soon. And I trust the Daily Jewel on CMEs a shit ton. Is it like, could we get wedged in this area more? Yes, we certainly can. But I do believe that we're going to see a pretty sizable bounce, either from the area that we're currently in right now, which I think is very unlikely, or the next leg down, which I think is very likely. So the next leg down, probably, lower 6,000s or maybe mid 5,000s. From there, extremely likely we do have a pretty damn big bounce. Historical volatility percentile on the daily is actually still contracting here, although I don't know how trustable it is on an asset that doesn't have much history. Maybe we go down to like an hourly. Hourly is contracting a little bit here as well. I'm sure that everyone's calling this a bull flag right here. The funny thing about bull flags, they haven't really been working out recently, especially contra to the overall market trend. The trend is your friend, as they always say. Anyways, let's see. Alrighty, cool. Let me just grab this right on over here. Okay, great. And yeah, all right. So how long have I been speaking? 24 minutes? Ooh, 25 minutes. All right, this might even be one of the shorter videos. Let's go over and check out Bitcoin dominance. I'm gonna imagine that it's still rising. This is absolutely catastrophic for shitcoins right now, as Bitcoin dominance being bullish here is saying that, hey, whether Bitcoin's bullish or bearish versus the dollar, altcoins are gonna be bearish versus Bitcoin. And I'd be bullish on the daily, man. I'm still bullish on this. I'm very bullish on the weekly. I've been very, oh, and we finally hit the target. Yeah, we did hit the target. We hit 70.5. That was the first target. Second target is 70, actually like more like 72, which looks like we're looking very good here. Momentum oscillators straight up. Weeklies looks very good. Weekly RSI, very good as well. Wants to stay in the bullish control zone. This is bullish as fuck. Alts versus Satoshis on the whole are going to get crushed in this next segment, I would imagine. So I'd be very careful. If I am long alts versus Satoshis. Of course, it's not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, but just looking at Cardano, probably heading back down to the low side of the range, 460. Oh my God. Are you kidding me? Another downtrend continuation for my heavily intelligent Cardanos? This one was going to change the world. But what about Link? Link actually being one of the better ones. Still maintaining its uptrend, to be fair. Probably does bounce a little bit here, but longer term, I'd be looking for it to come down here with Bitcoin dominance being so bullish. What about Buteral versus Bitcoin? Wow! Oh, man! Another weekly downtrend. When will it stop, Bear Jesus? Show me your red dildos. Bear Jesus is not done with you, my friends. Bear Jesus takes no prisoners, but salvation can be had if you say the prayer of Bear Jesus. Join hands and sing the praises of Bear Jesus with me right now. Bear Jesus, show us the way. Show us where these girthy red dildos will show us the way. Show us where we have been wrong. Bear Jesus, I believed in false prophets. Bull Jesus hates us. Bear Jesus loves us. But Bear Jesus, I pray to thee. I pray to thee for all of salvation of all the cryptocurrency world. Bear Jesus, please show me where these altcoins will go to. Well, Bear Jesus, if he could come out right now, he would show you. Bear Jesus, we pray. So that's pretty wrecked. No reason to be bullish on this highly sophisticated piece of technology until we get back above about 2,300,000 Satoshis. So I got a lot of work to do there. Oh, Bear Jesus! No! No! Don't tell me you just started turning down on your weekly Stokes as we put in another lower high. Oh, no! Bullish. On the inverted chart. What about Mrs. Litecoin? Looks pretty familiar. I actually do think that Mrs. Litecoin's getting close to a bounty bounce area, probably somewhere around like 530,000 Satoshis. These are all longer term, by the way. It's not happening like today or tomorrow, but a little bit longer term. Looks to me like altcoins versus Satoshis are joining the boo cake party on Pornhub.com. So looking at this right here, Stellar, breaking the long-term trend line versus Satoshis, death cross on the weekly. Bear Jesus, why do you have to destroy my weekly Stokes? Oh, reject from the bullish control zone once again. Oh, Bear Jesus, not Monero too. Another weekly death cross. Bear Jesus rests his case. But Ripple surely would never go down. I read about this one on crypto Twitter by XRP Warrior. RP Warrior didn't tell me about Bear Jesus' red dildos. Fuck. Fuck. I've been shish kebabbed again. Could this just be another lower high? Death cross on the weekly. Breaking the long-term trend right here as well. Do we have anything else? Nope. All right, let's go check out altcoins versus US dollar, because that's the real shitcoin from what I'm told on crypto Reddit. That's the true shitcoin. I fucking hate that fiat bullshit. Can't use it for anything good. except for everything. Sorry, I do believe in cryptocurrencies, but it is funny to see some of the comments in the market during times like this. Looks actually like it's in a bouncy area. Then again, another lower high right here. I would say that it's appropriate to not expect any sort of prolonged bounce as long as we are below 134.5. Very, very simple. Very, very simple analysis right there. Nothing too crazy. Mrs. Litecoin, same thing. Last prior high was rejected from 41.86. As long as we're below there, still overall bearish. Could still flip it around, man. It could still do it. It just, I would say that the probabilities are against. What about Stellar? No. All right, we'll just ignore that one. Monero just got rejected by the 10 simple, still continuing downtrend. I would say no chance to be, I would not be bullish on this as long as we're below about 52 and a quarter. What about Ripple? Certainly would never do something like that. Oh no! The high teens target has been hit. I do think that it actually bounced from this region though, or at least goes sideways here for a little bit. I don't think it's ready to like break down just yet. EOS, what's it doing? Same thing. Well, the rest of this market is going to do whatever. It's going to mirror whatever Bitcoin does. So, you know, as for my opinion on Bitcoin right here, oh, I should have talked about the fibs on this, huh? We do have the 618 Fibonacci retracement right around 7,000 low, actually. In fact, looking at fibs, it does suggest that, yeah, it actually does suggest that 6950 not really an area of interest at all. I think 6950 is an area of interest just because we have this prior little liquid what is it? Liquid zone right there. But more importantly, you know, if we do go back on over here and kind of draw this out a little bit more, what's going on? Well, sure, everyone's still calling this a fucking, what's it called? Everyone's still calling this shit a, what was it? A bull flag on the weekly. Goddamn bull flags in this bitch. You know, what are we doing right here? Are we perhaps making a bigger descending triangle on the lows? I think that's possible, yes. The volume signature would match up with this, but it also would suggest that we do spend the next, I don't know, couple months actually filling this out. So we probably don't break down like fully from 6,500, our current low, like in the next, like it's actually like early 2020 is what it would suggest if that does play out. It also does mean that we need to follow this trend line right here, or if you're using the 200 simple, each are kind of the same, really. You know, as long as we're below there, this is a potential. I think this is a little bit of an aggressive play here, but going back on over here, the measure move would actually be pointed down towards 5750. So I was wrong about 6100 yesterday. I do think it's more like right around this region, which makes a lot more sense. If Bitcoin does have that next breakdown, it's kind of getting us into our consolidation before the big breakout of earlier this year from you know, the $6,000 level essentially. So the measure move would be lining up with that. I believe if we throw on a fib retracement from this, we should actually see an extension somewhere down around there, I'd imagine. See if we use Wix, or sorry, let's see if we use this. Yeah, we do see the two spot 272. I mean, it's getting a little bit further out there at that point. But we do see actually a good history of playing off of these fibs right here. If you're just looking at this consolidation, we just bottomed at the 272 right here. If we do break that, you know, there's certainly plenty of areas along the way, which are probably low time frame bounces. But realistically, it should mark it like this. This is a liquid zone right here, basically between the 272 and the 1414, and the extension below that would be 272. So does it make sense? Yeah, kind of, but still a little bit far-fetched. I do actually think it's quite possible that Bitcoin, you know, if Bitcoin does rally up here and kind of flip around the short-term trend, you know, we can still very much fill out everything up till this area, like the long-term downtrend resistance, which is actually now below the 200 simple even. So Bitcoin's pretty bearish on the long term. Again, as long as we're below that area, I would be happy to change around my mind. But those things need to be, needs to be present. Again, just simply trading the weekly trend has been one of the most profitable ways of not one of the most profitable. It's been probably one of the most profitable ways of trading Bitcoin for the eternity of Bitcoin's history. I mean, anytime we flipped around the trend on a weekly, as simple as it is, those have been your major massive gains. You're not going to catch the ultimate high, the ultimate low, and in this case, I want to be directly clear. I'm not going to catch the ultimate high or the ultimate low. I will not call a reversal until I see a higher high and a higher low on a weekly at the very least. There's going to be rallies here and there, of course, but I just want to show that we could very easily rally up all the way over here and not really change anything that significant from like the macro. Of course, from the shorter term time frames, it'd be very tradable. That's like $2,000 move-ish region from where we are right now. And that's significant, of course, but I wouldn't just blindly call a reversal here, especially looking at the higher time frames until they start to switch around. Let's go check out the Bitcoin VWAP ratio. It is worsening a little bit. We do see the blue starting to really diverge from the pink, and the purple is still kind of holding its own there. But the second that the blue gets below the purple is the second that we have the same signature that has precipitated not just all 70% retracements that's already in place actually, but it would be the signature that precipitates like the next 6 months to a year of price action in that same direction. Works both to the upside and the downside for the history of Bitcoin, and I would say that is not a good thing. Also, the Bitcoin difficulty ribbon is starting to really contract on itself as we head into the halving, as we have seen in the past, which typically does put downwards pressure on price action here. So again, a lot of things to be aware of. I don't think that Bitcoin's. I don't think that Bitcoin's even bullish on a low time frame until we get back above our wick high of 16th of December. If that does happen, then yes, I would look for an extended move, probably up here towards about 7,750 to 7,800, and strong likelihood to continue up to like the mid to low 8,000s region. But for right now, I'm still going with the downside until that happens. So I want to be very, very direct in saying that because I don't want there to be any surprises. And again, my opinions are relevant, even though my opinion's down here. I'm just going with the trend essentially. That's all. I'm always going to go with the trend in that case. When in doubt, pull it out. Anyways, going down to the, do we want to go back down to lower time frames? The second that we break below about 70.55, hey, this is massively different on GDAX to Stamp. Hold on, Stamp got down to 7,000 even. Yeah, so GDAX got 70.44.5. What about Mexico? Mexico got 70.34. Wow, we really actually see quite a different array. If one of those guys takes out that prior low from 16th of December, I do not believe that we're going to, I believe that that's confirmation that we are going to head back down and at least fill out this region right here. So yeah, again, still kind of wedging ourselves in there. So we do see a nice volume signature being kind of constructed from our last few lows coming in like this, something like that. So I do think that's probably the most likely possibility. But again, I'm not in position right now, and I don't really care to take a position right now. I'm very much intent to wait for the 3-day. And of course, if the 3-day ends above that critical level, I do think that we will test up higher. But if we end at or below, or even like around it, that would kind of look nasty. The 2 days also going to be ending tonight as well. If we do lose a 200 simple, which is actually 69.69, again, same area as a 3-day, then I would be that's going to be a pretty damn good signal that we are headed back down as well. 2-day bullish divergence, I do believe you could say that it's already played out. Between this point and this point, we did have a pretty nice, we had a $1,000 move to the upside. That's almost 20% move to the upside. Getting rejected by the 21 essentially. Although, man, could we still get up there? Yeah, possible. So fair enough. Again, it's the 2-day and the 3-day that I'm really watching today with massive importance on the 3-day. Lower time frames, are fun to look at, but they're going to be mostly a distraction to the fun and important stuff going on in the higher time frames here. So I think I'll kind of leave it with that. Again, the 3-day, takes precedence over everything for me right here. I won't be taking any like bigger trades until we get clarity on that situation. I'm happy to scalp lower time frames, of which I've been doing during these like Twitch and Mixer live streams, which is pretty fun, man. It's like playing a game and then playing the game of fucking scalping ranges. And it's, you know, it's cool to have like multiple things going on, I suppose. So with all of that said, I think it's time for me to wish you well once again and congratulate you on making it to the end of the week. Doesn't matter though, man. Be happy for the weekend anyways, man. It's it's just continuation is what it is. We got weekly continuation for the week. It's like things don't really change anyways, right? So yeah, you know, I'll be signing off now. No live stream this morning. I will likely do one later tonight, depending upon a few things, but very, very likely it does go through. And with that said, as always, man, wishing you the best of the best. So take care, and until next time.